Secretary General w'ekibiina kya National Unity Platform baba wandikire ebbaluwa ku nsonga z'omwala Ssaalongo Erias Lukwago ne batagiddamu.
Amaziga g'abantu gagenda obbalondoola nze mbabuulira mu abantu ba NUP. Nze nga ndowooza abantu ba opposition be balina the best interest of the people, but if you come to look at it and give it a benefit of doubt, they are one of the most corrupt people.
Twafuba nnyo okubabuuza mutuwe report tuyambe bannayuganda reporting nga mutulaga muli bize mugikola ne bakkirako abamu mukukuta nayo kiro
yebwatekamu oba mbwa mwa ami mbwa eriko
kankweristi aba passing a resolution omwala gwebweyo asoka.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how the National Unity Platform on NUP councillors on the KCCA Board have contributed to the suffering of many Ugandan traders who are currently counting a lot of losses courtesy of because of a decision that was made just out of a few pennies that were given to a small circle of National Unity Platform councillors, and now Ugandans who did not even partake in this scandalous act are paying the price for a very cheap trade-off. My name is Francis Mukule. Welcome to this update and thanks for watching. So on 7th February 2025, Kampala Capital City Authority received an online development application from Keyham Investments for a proposed redevelopment of Nakivubo Channel. In view of the strategic importance of the channel to the city's sustainability, the authority deemed it necessary to consult key stakeholders, notably the Ministry of Water and Environment on the hydrological study and the National Environment Management Authority on the environmental consideration. At the same time, I need you guys to stay with me because the chronology of how these events unfolded is one that needs time for you to understand. So, at the same time, on 22nd September, a letter that was written to David Lewis Rubongoya, who was the Secretary General of National Unity Platform, was written to him by the Lord Mayor Kampala Capital City Authority, and it was the title. I mean, the subject of the letter was that KCCA Council resolution authorizing Hamis Kiggundu to construct an illegal structure on Nakivubo drainage channel. The letter reads, "I salute you for the commendable service you are rendering to our country. As you are absolutely aware, my leadership has grappled with unnecessary challenges that have plagued Kampala. For the record, we have developed and adopted the Kampala Drainage Master Plan of 2016 as a blueprint to guide all the interventions required to fix this nightmare. Then, we have persistently pitched for funding for this laudable agenda, especially to construct the 8 major or primary drainage channels highlighted in the foresaid plan, although no significant funding has come through." So it goes ahead to say, a couple months ago, I was dumbfounded on receiving information that Ham Enterprises Uganda Limited, owned by Hamis Kiggundu, had encroached on Jagula and Nakivubo channels by among other things constructing a huge commercial structure without any color of right of authorization. Now it also transpired that the Archbishop of Kampala, His Grace Paul Semogwere, had also raised formal complaints regarding alienation of church land and the access road to St. Ibali Kudembe and St. Anthony's Church. Yes, Anthony's Church Shrine. Do you remember that saga where it was also raised that Hamis Kiggundu was constructing on the drainage system, on a drainage channel? You remember that? That was the incident. So then he goes ahead to say that it is equally important to note that heavy downpour that came on the heels of the foresaid illegal development ravaged several properties within the vicinity, including St. Barry Kudembe Market, and occasioned devastating loss and occasioning devastating loss of life of more than 10 people and property worth millions. As an institution, we swung into action whereby the enforcement notice was issued to Harm Enterprises Limited to demolish the said illegal structure, and criminal proceedings were commenced against Hamis Kiggundu. However, shortly after issuance of the criminal summons to Hamis Kiggundu, the then Region Executive Director, Frank Rusa, in collusion with some of the individuals within the institution, fraudulently caused the termination of the said criminal proceedings. So this prompted my office through the City Executive Committee to prepare and present a comprehensive report on the authorities meeting on 3rd April 2025 with 11 laudable recommendations and a call to stern action against the perpetrator and the said transgressions. He had quite a number of recommendations, among which he recommended that Cabinet and Parliament should revise the KCCA budget from 827 billion for the forthcoming 2025-2026 financial year to factor in the financing of the Kampala drainage master plan and accordingly shift the issue of construction of drainage channels in Kampala from the unfunded priorities to the funded priorities. That was one of the recommendations. Then he ended his letter by saying that the purpose of this communication, therefore, is to seek audience with you to thrash out these issues as members of the opposition, since majority of the councillors subscribe to the National Unity Platform. Looking forward to hearing from you. And then he, signed out. But then what happened is that Lewis Rubongoya did not actually respond to that later. So what I really got to understand from this whole incident is that when he was being hosted, of course, you'll see this video tomorrow. But when he was being hosted on NBS TV, and the same issue was put up forward to him in regards to what he has to say about National Unity Platform councillors, unanimously agreeing to append signatory or accept this developer to go ahead and construct or redevelop the Nakivubo Channel. Rubongoya said that they should have done more research and given it more time before they arrived to a decision, which I believe it's just how should I call it? It's a sweeping statement that has no remedy. And then he goes ahead to say that the councillors agreed to give Hamis Kiggundu the right to go ahead to redevelop Nakivubo Channel with given recommendations. I don't know. Let me play the video.
Councillors, they made a resolution, a copy of which I have here. Again, like I said, after this matter was brought to our attention, first of all, it was brought to our attention very late. We did not know about it and what was going on. One of the things we told our councillors was that they should have done more consultation. Because the Lord Mayor wrote to me a letter bringing this matter to my attention.
On 22nd of July, yes, 2025.
Bringing this matter to our attention.
And you received it on 23rd.
When this letter was brought to our attention, when we received the letter, that is the first time we got to know about this matter. And we invited these councillors, the Speaker and others, and we said, you people should have done more consultation on this matter. Then we went through the resolution, because they also had their defense, and I'm not here to defend them or speak on their behalf. Maybe you'll have a chance to host them. But what was very instructive in their resolution, first of all, I don't know if you know something called the Kampala Drainage Master Plan.
I do.
Which was originally developed in 2003, improved in 2016, 2017. Up to now, it has not been implemented because the government keeps saying there is no money to implement it. Now, because of that, what the councillors were saying was that maybe we should get private investors to do this work since the government is not doing it. Because remember, right now you're getting these floods and having a much bigger impact than previously. But even before, there has always been flooding in Kampala. You've always seen floods in Waise, killing people in every part of Kampala, in the city center and all that. So in their reasoning, and like I said, they should have done more consultation, even in terms of how they craft this resolution and all that. But what they said was clear, that KCCA should partner with credible and able local investors to develop and upgrade the city drainage system under the guidance, approval, and supervision of KCCA. Now, And they say in view of the fact that funding from the central government and donors was declining. This is their resolution. This is what they said. They said that whatever is going to be done on the channel must be done with the guidance, approval, and supervision of KCCA.
You see, what the impression I get out of this is that if that was the resolution of the councillors, whereby they say that if the drainage should be developed, they should do it in view or in partnership with a private developer. It gives me the impression that the first people that Hamis Kiggundu could have approached were the councillors. So anything they wrote had to factor in a private investor, which suited the status quo of Hamis Kiggundu. So clearly, he has admitted what the internet was saying, that abantu abasinga abalina omukono mu kuwaayo omwalo ogwo abasinga bali ba National Unity Platform takyeganye. So you now know why majority of traders are suffering. But again, he went ahead to say that for people to think that just that a decision by councillors to support a project can easily sway it into action is wrong. Partly true, partly right, but I want to think that President Museveni, for him to approve certain things, it has to come from an advisory point of view, and that is from certain people that are beyond his office. Because I've seen this happen. Before a president actually even appends to a law or anything, it has to come from a point of information from members of parliament. It does not happen like from his point of view, just the way he deems it fit. So this is a little bit fishy, in my opinion. It could be that they don't have all the power to do so, but they highly contributed to where we are right now as a nation in regards to the floods that are affecting many traders down there. So I want us to get into the second phase that happened after Lukwago wrote a letter and got ignored by Lewis Rubongoya. So after Hamis Kiggundu expressed interest in redeveloping the Nakivubo Channel, Lukwago, seeing that, I think after noticing that there was a unanimous decision by the councillors to give out this drainage, this construction of a drainage channel, he wrote to Rubongoya to kind of like try to stop it. But then, as that was going on August 2nd, President Museveni, through the office of the Prime Minister, that is Nabanja, gave a directive that Hamis Kiggundu be granted permission to go ahead with developing the channel. You see how things are moving quickly. So, in that sense, it almost looked like the KCCA was overlapped. Like it doesn't have its power was actually usurped in a way, or protocol was not followed. Because later on, we shall learn that while Hamis Kiggundu, while the KCCA was actually in the process of reviewing Hamis's interests, a letter came from the Minister of Kampala reiterating a directive from the President. We will get there when time is due. So August 2nd, President Museveni gives a directive through the office of the Prime Minister, and I'll put the letter for you guys there. The letter is that I have got a very good proposal from Hamis Kiggundu dated 25th July of 2025 regarding the Nakivubo drainage channel. Ham points out that the fact that the channels is open invites people to throw in rubbish, including plastics, feces, etc., all of which disgust the people, led to blockages of the channel and flooding. His proposal is imaginative and simple. Allow him to cover the channel after cleaning it and strengthening it at his own cost. So after that directive is given, Ham goes ahead to start construction without the knowledge of the KCCA, whom he had earlier on written to express interest to develop the channel. While Ham was busy constructing upon directive from the President Museveni, KCCA, which was initially still reviewing the application that was given on that was submitted on 7th February by Hamis Kiggundu, on 16th August, while the application was still under consideration, the authority received reports of unauthorized hoarding along a section of Nakivubo Channel. What they did is they quickly swung into action, went to the site on 18th August 2025, and accompanied by the division physical planner, the area building inspector, and the division law enforcement commander, who later confirmed the existence of the development. And on 20th August, the executive director directed Hamis Kiggundu Enterprises Limited to cease the unlawful activities, to undertake immediate remedial measures to mitigate both the primary and secondary risks arising from their actions. So while this was still in action, the executive director has ordered a cease of any construction to happen. She receives a letter, corresponding from the Honorable Minister of Kampala, Minsa Kabanda, dated 13th August 2025, conveying presidential directive that was given on 22nd August 2025 on the redevelopment of an upgrading, beautification, and drainage improvement of Nakivubo Channel. So, at the same time, the authority was engaged with Kiggundu on issues relating to the ownership of the land proposed development, which until now he has since applied for a leasehold interest in the land comprised of All right. So upon that directive from the president, the physical planning committee of the KCCA, at its sitting on 8th September 2025, granted conditional approval for the proposed development, and is expected that upon fulfillment of the stipulated conditions, Hamis Kiggundu Enterprises will proceed to lodge an application for a building permit. Keep in mind, these developments were brought to the attention of Ugandans a few months later, because this letter is dated 22nd September. And remember, Hamis Kiggundu started construction shortly after the president gave his directive on 2nd August. And that goes to show you that KCCA is becoming, or is not even becoming, KCCA is just a body that has no power, like a barking dog that seldom bites. They go ahead, they just do things for formality, yet at the back of their mind, they're actually sure that nothing is going to happen. So let's ask ourselves, how did we get here? I want us to start with a video that was shared by Mwate Kamwa. He is the MP for Igara County. He is the MP for Igara County. He details an account of the genesis of how this whole thing actually came to be, with the main actor called Medat Segona being at the center of peddling this report and having it passed without being reviewed. Let's give it a listen.
Amanya neyanjule Mwate Kamwa gafa MP Gara West. Ensonga gyendeta nze ntula kachiko kakosase mu parliament. Akalondola ebime ebitongole bya government engeri gye bikolamu emirimu. Batu okunoonyereza engeri hamu gye yafunamu obuyinza obuzimba ku myala. Nga kachiko kafa kakulembera ye mwami Segona Medani Lubega. Twakufuba nnyo naye nga Honorable Segona ne tiimu yo abamu nga mukukuta. Twafuba nnyo okubabuuza mutuwe report tuyambe bannayuganda, report nga mutulaga muli bize mugikola ne bakiraka abamu. Mukukuta nayo kiro. Nga hamu amaze obbawo omudidi gwa ssente gwe gubabonyabonya. Kubanga twakagezaako tulabe ku report tumanye ebirimu, tusobole okuleeta minority report nga tukuba hamu, nga tumanye ekintu kye bakola kya bulabe, abantu bajja kufiirwa maali, abantu bajja kubonaabona, kubanga abamu nti baagala kusakinyusa President Museveni. Baganda bange teri muntu yasinga obbatunda ng'omwana wammwe gwe mumanyi Segona ne tiimu ye. bagenda ne bakukuta n'ekiripooti ne baganda tetukirabako ne bakireeta mu parliament kwolwo nga bamaze okuteesa nti ne ku parliament eyo report tebagisomanga kakati kwolwo presiding officer yagamba nti ku lw'obudde ezo report zonna tuziyise by omnibus nga tezisomeddwamu ziyise za report nga 6 nga 3 era ne report yali ewagira Hamu okukola emirimu gye yayitira mu ebyo nga teri member wa parliament gwobuuza n'asobola okubuulira ebyalimu kubanga bagamba tuyise kubanga president yabagamba mubeere nga mulonda abantu ab'emitwe nga mikalu kasita baba basobola okuyisa ekyo kyokka kyayagala.
Of course Segonai had to come back. He had he responded to Mbwatekamwa and say that he has not taken a penny from Hamis Kiggundu, and whatever Mbwatekamwa is actually alleging is falsehood, and he threatened legal action against him. You see, politicians are very courageous people when it comes to saying things to do with legal and denying issues. If you take an example of the Service Award campaign issue, where people are really being accused of taking this Service Award money, and they came out in front of camera and said, you know what, we are going to take you to court to prove whether or not we received this money. So this was Segona's response. It was condescending, it was a bit arrogant, but also, in my opinion, it was petty, you know?
Teriko. Okay, Talib.
Yeah, this video is courtesy of Point Media 2027.
Mbwa. Tekuliko listi ya mbwa, tekuliko linnya lya mbwa ku listi eno. Singa mbwa ebadde ebeera mu parliament.
This is unacceptable. Yeah, this is unacceptable. But you see, this tone and this kind of response for me tells me there's more than Mr. I, because it's unlike of the person of Segona. Segona is an intellectual who cannot respond like this. So whatever it seems he has been triggered, or a part that says a bit of truth has come out, you know.
Ulirizanga ku nsonga eno tetugikolangako alipoota yonna fenga akakiiko ka KCCA yalimbye ensi nti ye mmemba wa KCCA si kituufu ku lisiti y'abamemba b'akakiiko ka KCCA tebamumpeerangako. Indeed singa abadde akwata yanditegedde nti wano tosobola kubeera ku bukiiko busukka bubiri. Naye emyaka gy'amazeewo bw'abanga ekyo takimanyi, mutambuze munnaffe gimusaze. N'abeewaabwe aba abasaze. Bayinza okuba nti bwe baanoonya aye asinga gwe baalaba. Abeeyigala West. N'olwekyo bye yanjogeddeko ne bye yayogedde kakiiko kange kenkulembera aka KCCA si bituufu. Mutambuze munnaffe n'agamba ensi nti nze nvunaanyizibwa ku baana b'abantu abaagwa mu mwala, nze nvunaanyizibwa ku maali y'abantu eyayonoonekera mu mazzi agajja mu Kampala. Mwami Hamis Kiggundu simusisinkanangako mu bulamu bwange bwonna. Kale kaŋŋambe mu bulamu bwe bwonna kubanga yalabika ng'omuto ku nze. Nkakasa nze mulaba ku TV, bw'aba yali andabye ndowooza naye andaba ku TV bw'aba agirina. So, okugamba nti yampanze n'ababaka bange abatono enguzi, ekyo kintwala mu kkooti kuwaaba. Mwami mbwa munzijukiza.
Man, the arrogance in this guy's persona is classic. So yeah, that was one of the accused people, you know, and of course clearly he has come out to, you know, deny those allegations and put the record straight that Omanyi, he has really nothing to do with this. But other people came out, people like Gashumba came out and actually gave a list of councillors that actually participated in the giveaway and contributed to the huge suffering that many Ugandan traders are going through today.
Kankweristi aba passing a resolution omwala gwebweyo asoka Zahara Luyirika oyo mukyalo oyo aba speaker yali speaker nakati yachali ye speaker nankubirwa Hita Nakabugo Farida Rose Kigozi Semakula Mubiru Kato Paulo Fausta Bitano Sembacha Richard Ereni Namukwaya Kenneth Waswa Mwanje Wafula Moshi Bone Bukenya Innocent Tegusulwa Falazi yo Kibirige kwabo Munyarwanda aliwa
Teguli. Anyway, even Innocent Tegusulwa banange. So banange, you see, zendoza abantu abakyasinze okubanga bakyasudde akakokolo okuba na Uganda be bantu ba opposition. For simple reasons, many people in Uganda think that people on the opposition side are the ones that have the interest of the people, of the common man, of the nation and all that. Yet the truth is actually, them being in opposition, we've given them leeway to do whatever they want in allowing them to justify them in one way or another. That's what I see in T. And I also used to be a victim of such things. About opposition, maybe not the best interest of the people, but if you come to look at it and give it a benefit of doubt, they are one of the most corrupt people there is. You understand? So you see, this has finally come to light that these councillors, hugely contributed to this thing, and you will notice that nobody came out to contest against this from the opposition, apart from Lukwago himself, and a lot of people dragged Lukwago for this, but he had foreseen this. Of course, it's also possible that Lukwago also had his own, motives, because he was really driving for an agenda whereby, the KCCA budget gets increased from 822 billion over to, to be amended so that KCCA is given the mandate to develop the channels. And when you're in charge of a certain budget, how these people can play around with some monies. But yeah, that's the reality. I hope this video actually gives you new insight into how things are really done and what role the opposition actually is playing in contributing to corruption. So imagine you're not yet in power. You're not yet in power as NUP. How are you going to be in power? How will you act when you're finally in power if you're exhibiting these high levels of corruption at the smallest level? It's fair to say nti mwe abamu bacontributing ku maziga g'abantu g'abasuubuzi ge bakaaba kubanga mwawaayo omwala ne musirika kati amaziga g'abantu gagenda obbalondoola. Nze mbabuulira mu abantu ba Nuupu ba councillors specifically. Nze sigenda sukkawo. See you guys.